Drawn to the Wild is currently on display, and I'm going to walk you through the exhibition so that you can see my drawings, and I'll talk a little bit about my inspiration and drawing techniques as I go. So this piece is the largest piece in the exhibition. It's called Eye to Eye, and it had to be large to show the magnificence of this elephant. So it's on a full sheet of watercolour paper at 22 by 30 inches, and it did take me a long time to draw it. I worked on it over a few months, putting it down and then picking it up a few weeks later, just so that I'd start on it with fresh eyes and a fresh approach. It's done, I use the hot pressed watercolour paper at 300 GSM, and I use Arches, which I just prefer as a paper, and I use the Staedtler Mars Lumograph pencils. And it's basically done with just two grades, 2B and 3B, and I work in layers. So in these really dark areas I've built up, starting off with a 2B and then working a 3B and going over it again in a 2B to get that lovely depth. And moving along, I've got a couple more elephant pieces which are the same combination of pencils and paper. And it comes down a little bit to design as well. So I've used multiple photographs in both these pieces to get a nice design and a bit of a mood happening. This is the first of the coloured pencil pieces, which is a little pair of elephants running toward a hole. So again, I use the same paper but polychromo pencils on this one, which are, yeah, coloured pencils, just lovely to get the detail as well. This little blue wren is done on pastel matte paper. It's Clairefontaine and the colour is maize. I use it sometimes just to put in a different coloured background and to complement the little subject here of blue. I thought it worked quite well. There's a couple of pieces, one of our native swans, a black swan in water, and this is all just dry pencil. I haven't used any blending materials here at all, so the water came out quite well, and I quite like the pencil marks through the water. It's just a couple of horse pieces. These now are just little coyote hunting for his lunch. These are all from my own photographs and just moments in nature that have inspired me to sort of capture something special. A native dingo, so I just love the expression on this dog's face. So it was lovely to capture in with the colours. And this eagle was, I used actually luminance coloured pencils on this one. And again, just the softness of the white against white, I quite enjoyed trying that technique, and I think it works. Moving across to the other side of the room, go to some more graphite pieces. This was from a trip I did to Tanzania, and this one was a little bit about design because the tree is just beautiful and lent itself to doing a terrific design. And I put a bit more detail into the leopard just to give the impression of the vastness of the country and the open space of the savannah where he was. The bison are always a lovely subject to draw. Their coats are very interesting. This is what they look like in the summer and the autumn before they grow their thick winter coat, but they do retain a bit of the wool, and again it's an interesting texture to capture in graphite. The two different textures in the bison's coat. This piece is done, this is the first piece that's been done on Bristol board, and I used actually charcoal pencil on this one, so different from the others. They're made by Cretacolor, they're called Neros, there's 5 grades of them, and I chosen for this one because I could get really, really black in the stripes and a lot of detail. They come up really well on the Bristol board. So they go very black without the shine. Another little coloured pencil piece. Zebras are a bit of a favourite of mine, and this one was just to show the zebra at sunset and picking up some of the gorgeous colours of the setting African sun. This piece was also done on Bristol board, but I used graphite pencils. I find the stapler is a little bit soft on this paper, so I used graph woods that are made by Caran d'Ache, and they're beautiful for getting detail and fur. This rhino, this is a bit of a conservation statement. It's called Running Out of Time, because they're sadly being poached almost to distinction. And so I actually saw this rhino running across the road in front of us and used that lovely forward travelling motion to maybe emphasise their desperate need for conservation. Another little bison piece in coloured pencil. Again, a lovely exploration of the colours and the wool. So they look a bit different in the colour, but yes, they come up really, they're really a fun piece to do, to explore the textures. This cheetah, again, when you come to spots and stripes, you've got to be very, very careful how you put them on, as they follow the form of the body. So this again is an unusual position to see a cheetah. It was early in the morning as he was having a stretch before his day began, and just a bit of a challenge to put it all together. But again, showing off his beautiful athletic body. Again, this one's done with watercolour pencils. These are Caran d'Ache Prismalos. I did use a little bit of water along the side here to wash it out, because I call this piece Vanishing, and again, a conservation statement. They're vanishing fast out of the wild, and I wanted a little bit of the subject lost there. But you can see by the wet and then by using it dry, they're different effects. This one was done with polychromos, and just a lovely portrait of a lion who's been through a few battles. But you can get some super colours and details with the colour pencils. Another leopard done with the watercolour pencils dry, and again, just took me quite a long time to do this piece because of the spots and the intricate detail. And the wild dog, again, yeah, just an observation of a stunning species that's actually listed as vulnerable. A lot of conservation going on with these dogs, but lovely to explore it with colour pencil. This was done in polychromos. Get some lovely detail in the coats, and yeah, in the years it's come up quite well. One of our native wildlife, the echidna. That was done in the Prismalos as well. And then finally to some birds, some native birds that are out of my garden. A gang cockatoo, lovely king parrot, and a little eastern rosella to finish. Thank you all for viewing.